Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm getting a little choked up. I'm so happy to see you. No, it's a great day here in Texas. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having a fantastic day as well. So, some of you may have seen some of the posts going on. Did you know we are halfway to Halloween? So, Whimsy Stamps loves Halloween, so we could not miss this opportunity to celebrate halfway to Halloween. So, let's go ahead and change our camera view and take a look at my project. All right, so here is a fun little project, and though I'm using some Halloween stamps, I made this a boo, no bones about it. You open it up. You're awesome, and I can feel it in my guts. So I have picked some products here to use to make this, and let's run through them real quick. The star of the show is this fantastic mini slim trifold die set. This gives you everything you need to make this fun fold. So there we go. If you know to do this on your own would be a little tricky to get all those circles to measure up. So this die is just fantastic to run it through. If you want to mass produce, they just die cut wonderfully. You can make lots of them all at once. Okay, I'm also using the funny bones, or the No Bones About It. That's the name of this one. I get it mixed up. But this is one of Dustin Pike's great drawings here. Is so fun, and I will be using the coordinating dies as well. There are no fuss masks that you can get to match these, which makes it great with the little bitty arms and things, but I won't be using those today, but those are available. I'm not going to be using this paper, but it is an option if you wanted to use paper instead of a stamp. So I wanted to show it to you, and this is the taffy. I'm also going to be using, whoops, I don't know where that came from, the alphabet dies. And last but not least, I'm going to use the grunge background canvas. So quite a bit of product today. And I have myself a little envelope here with all of my goodies so I didn't lose anything. For my inks today, I'm going to be using some Distress Oxides and the Flurry Fuchsia from Catherine Pooler's inks. Okay, so what I have die cut the sorry, let me get the title right. It's a mouthful. The Mini Slim Trifold die set. And after I die cut it, it does give you the score lines, but I like to go ahead and put it in my scoreboard, and you can line it up and score at the 3 inches in, and then turn it around and score it at the 3 again. And that just kind of, just makes that fold a little bit easier so you get it right on the line, because it is very important that your folds are perfectly straight if you want your card to fold up properly. Whoops, and look at that, I did it the wrong way. So the little holes go on the inside flap, and then the larger holes go on the outside flap, and that way you see this nice circle around your inner, you get that double circle in there. If you did it the other way around, you can't see it. So okay, so now that we have it like this, let's go ahead. We're going to set that aside. I'm also going to grab my gel plate. This is just a large gel plate, and I'm going to use that to do a little bit of coloring on my card. A little bit of ink blending, I guess is the better word. And let's see, I'm going to want this side, the side with the larger holes, I'm going to do that in the wilted violet. And then the side with the smaller holes, I'm going to do that in the twisted citron. So I'm going to use a piece of teal tape, or any kind of like post-it note tape, or you can use masking paper, whatever you just want to tape off right there at the seam. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. Hold on 1 second. There we go. That'll make it better. More likely that I get it right. And you don't want to go over the seam, but you want to be right on it. And I'm just going to use some blending brushes, and I'm going to tap off a little bit before I put my my brush to paper here, but we're just going to brush that on. Giving me a little bit of a mottled look today. Okay, we're just going to give this a nice tone of purple. To one of my favorite combinations for Halloween color schemes are the bright lime greens and a fun purple. And sometimes I like to throw a little orange into that mix, and to me that is just one of my favorite color combinations for Halloween. Okay. There we go. That'll do me for that. Set those aside. Now I'm going to use this same one. Look what I did. We have a little trick for getting rid of that though, so we're not going to worry about that. Got a little overzealous. There we go. You want to get it right on the line. And then, of course, be mindful not to let it go over. So, you can definitely take your minty tape and cover the whole back if you're like me and you get a little wild there with your brushes. And this one, I don't think I need to tap off quite as much there. No, it goes down pretty easy. I'm right-handed, so coming at it this direction will be less likely that I go over my tape. I think with this one being right-handed worked to my detriment, but on this side works in my favor. So there we go. Now, of course, you could color up your two sides in all kinds of different combinations, but I really liked this purple and twisted citron. So there we go. One great thing about doing your ink blending on a gel plate, if you wanted to, you could spritz that, lay your paper down, pick up that ink and do something with it. Or you can just take whatever you use and you can just wipe it and you're good to go for the next one. So that is, and also your paper just holds. Now I've got mine in the plastic mat. If you take that out, you don't get that movement like I had, but I really like using a gel plate to do my blending. All right, now I have a mono eraser here that I can put a little elbow grease on that and get that off of there. Okay. So, whoops, I did it the wrong way. Okay, this is the direction I want the card to be. So I'm going to set that right there. And the next thing we're going to do is get out our grunge canvas background. And I have cut a piece of paper to 2.5 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to put that on the inside of my card. I'm also going to get some of the circles. Ooh. When you die cut this die, you end up with 6 circles, 3 large ones and 3 smaller ones. And we are going to use some of those circles in our design today. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. Okay, I think that's all I have right now. Now I'm going to use the Flirty Fuchsia and just right down the center, add some ink. Take my piece that I cut and drop it right there on top. And I have made myself a piece of cardboard that'll fit right on top, and we're just going to press down, making sure that I get that whole area. Hopefully we got the whole thing. There we go. I like it. Kind of looks like my skeleton guts, don't you think? That's what I was going for. So I'm going to do that one more time. And looks like I got it on my fingers, so let me wipe that off or I'll transfer it all over the place. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Now I'm just going to drop my circles, making sure that they go where I inked it. And same thing, just going to put that over, make sure I'm rubbing down where I put my circles. All right. Very good. Now this I'm just going to clean off real quickly with my sponge here that I use, and I always do that, get it off on my table. That vibrant fuchsia ink, it tends to transfer around. That's why I had to get it off my hands straight away, because boy, it's a juicy one. All right. So I have gone ahead and stamped out my little no bones about it skeleton heads. And these are the 3 that I have. And we are going to arrange our skeletons in these windows. But before we do that, I want to take this piece, and on the inside of the green flap, we're going to glue that inside. So I'm just going to add some glue just right around my 3 windows. Then we're going to take this piece and put it right inside, making sure that it covers all 3 windows. All right. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add our skeletons. So this one, we want to add him so that his hand sticks out over the edge. Now this one we're going to add like this so that his hands hang down out of the window. So let's go ahead and do those 2. So once you put them in place, kind of see where their body touches the edges, and that's where we're going to put our glue. So I'm going to put a little bit right here, a little bit right here, and then on the back side, a little bit right here, and a little at the top of his head. And now I'm just going to place him right back in where he was. There we go. All right, I think we got him on there pretty good without him getting glued down to the other side. Okay, now this one the same way. We're just going to add the little glue right here on his edges. And turn him over, and a little bit here on the back of his hands, just right down at the ends. And I like to position him so his chin is just right there below the top. And, all right, there we go. Now, for this little guy, to get him so he looks like he's holding on to the edge. Now you could put him in just like this, but you don't see his hands. And I thought it looked kind of fun to have his hands looking like that he's crawling out of the inside of his circle. So to do that, we need to get our tiny scissors, and we're going to do some cutting. So I'm going to cut right here around his hand. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut down like this. And then same thing right down here around his other hand. So by cutting his little neck bone, or his shoulder blade bone out, we're going to put him in. And looks like still have to do a little bit more maneuvering. I forgot. We're going to cut that part off. And we have to cut this top part off. Now we can tuck him just like this into his window. Whoops. There we go. All right. I'm going to curve him down just a little bit so his head is under this one, but you can see how his little hands are on the outside. Now, before we glue him down, we want to add our letters. Grab my tweezers here. It kind of helps when doing this. If you lay something heavy on one side, you can use a stamp block. I'm going to use my eraser here, but just to kind of hold it down. All right, and just right here next to his window. And I'm leaving just a little bit of purple on the outer edge. I have so much fun designing with this card base die. So much you can do with it. It's really fun to just see what different things you can put in these windows. And I believe it was at our Whimsy Stamps retreat last year. One of the design team had made this into a candy bar holder, and I believe she used a little bit of like maybe a Frankenstein silhouette and had you know, glued it all together and then stuck like a Hershey candy bar down inside. So that's a really cool idea too. Okay, so now that we have our guy all ready, I'm going to add some glue just right here on the tips of his fingers. And then just right up here at his head. And hopefully I got it in the right spot. Now, I'm going to tuck his neck under there. Glue his hands down. Yeah, I did pretty good with his head. All right. I think I'm going to try to tuck his head up under this guy's hand a little bit. His hand's a little bit down. Let's see. Under there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there. Oh, I like that. He looks like he's just crawling out of there. I did want to tell you, when I colored my skeletons, I stamped them in a slate gray, which has a little bit of a blue tint to them. And then I colored their bones up with the C1 and the C2 of Copic markers. And then I did their eyeballs with the brightest lime green Copics that I have. And I didn't look up the numbers, but they were the Y or the GYs, the green yellows, and colored their eyes. I kind of wanted their eyes to match that circle back there. So before we're completely done here with the front, I have made one of the simple sentiment strips and chose the center of one of them. And out of our stamp set, I'm going to use this one that says "No Bones About It." All right. That's pretty good. And I stamped it all the way down to one end on purpose because I am going to trim it down closer to the writing on both ends. There we go. And now I'm going to take this and we're going to put it right in this guy that's hanging upside down. We're going to place that right in his hands. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here on his hands. Just going to place this sign like he's holding it. He's hanging upside down holding the sign. All right, the last thing I did to finish off the front is I came in with my fine-tipped black marker. And I wanted a little more black detail on the front just to tie in, whoops, just to tie in my boo and my sentiment. So I added, with my hand, I added detail onto the front of the card. Now that is totally up to you. I'm not going to do it right now, but I just added dot, dot, line, dot, dot, line, dot, dot, line all the way around each of the circles. Okay, now when I die cut my 3 skeletons, I die cut each of them twice. Once the stamped image and then once out of just plain white. Why did I do that, you ask? Okay, when you open it up, you can see how you can see through our skeleton. If you like that look, you can leave it just like that. But if you want to, let's see here, how did I do this? That's the wrong guy. That's that guy. Okay, you got to get the right one. We can take this and you can glue it right on top, and that will cover up that head for you. So we're just going to add glue to the whole back of this, which is actually the front, because you're going to turn it. That's why before I add the glue, I like to lay it on, make sure I have it the right way. And we're just going to cover those up. This one, same thing. All right, now the one that can be a little tricky is the one that we cut up, because he's not going to line up perfectly. So I am just going to cut kind of around how we did before. And these end parts, we can leave those in place, but let's go ahead and see if we can't get that lined up just like before. Just like this. Did his head first, and now I'm going to add my glue to his hand. I think I got that in the right spot. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this part of his hand off because it kind of hangs down, and I don't like the way that looks hanging down over this one. But there we go. All right. Now for the inside, I'll set my ruler over here. Now for the inside, or my eraser, I'm going to take these 3 circles that we've put our design on, and I'm just going to randomly cut them. I'm not really cutting them right in the middle. I'm more just in, and I think this one I'm going to go ahead and leave whole. And then I'm just going to place them around. Let's see here. Whoops. There we go. Maybe one coming down from up here. This one right here. And maybe this one right here. Now before I glue these down, I'm going to go ahead and get my sentiments that I'm going to put on the inside. And for the inside, we're going to use "You're awesome. I can feel it in my guts." So we're going to put "You're awesome" right here. And "I can feel it in my guts" right underneath. Now, it may be that our circle is a little too big right there. I'm just going to maneuver these around. And then maybe move that down, move this over, maybe like this. There we go. Okay. Just going to use my stamping block. All right. Just use a little bit of Dry's Clear Glue to put down my guts on the inside. Now, if you wanted to, you could decorate the back side of this panel. I hadn't really thought yet of what I wanted to do in that space, but even adding more circles of guts might be a fun idea, but I had not gotten around to doing that. Hadn't quite decided what I wanted to put there. All right, so here is our half-a-ween card for Thursday's live, and we've got Boo, no bones about it. You're awesome. I can feel it in my guts. And one thing I did do, I forgot to tell you, I came in with my black marker and I just put the I can feel it in my guts. I put a couple parentheses around there. Just thought that was a nice touch. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed making this mini slimline trifold. That is a mouthful. Okay, I'm going to switch my camera back. Thanks again for being here with me. I had a great time designing this fun trifold card, and these no bones about it skeletons are so fun to play with at Halloween time, and really they're good any time of the year, but especially Halloween. So thanks so much for being here with me today, and I hope you continue to have a lovely day. We would love it if you give a comment and a thumbs up to this video. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.